Hey folks, do a quick video on loading a muzzleloader, and there's 8,000 of them on the web, but this is going to be the best one. Okay, and actually I'm teaching Augie over here how to do this for the first time. He shoots what he thinks are muzzleloaders, but they're modern inlines, and they don't count in my book. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Number one, take your gun out. I haven't fired this yet today, so we're going to do this. We're going to take a capper. This one is made by Ted Cash, and it's the one that's made in German silver. And by the way, it is modeled after, if you go to the Museum of the Army in Paris, right next to Napoleon's tomb, there's a museum there in which they have all these old French gun artifacts. Some wonderful guns, by the way. And there's an exact, the original of these, the prototype of these is in that museum. Okay? I'm going to use the capper to put a little percussion cap. It's a little brass cup with fulminate of mercury that explodes upon impact in there. And we're going to make sure that the flash channel is clear in an empty gun. You make sure it's empty by pointing it down to a leaf, snapping the cap, and if the leaf blows away, your flash channel is clear, and any oil that's in there is getting cleared out too. It's getting dried up, right? And the reason you want to use a capper, especially with a loaded gun, is if you've got a loaded gun, 80, 100 grains of powder in there, and you push that cap down, and that cap blows. I knew a guy who this happened to. He blew off this entire section of his thumb just from the percussion of that, from the backdraft of that explosion, that 100 grain charge going off. And even less, I mean 60 grain charge will take your finger off. So you always want to use a capper. Right? Then, I'm shooting a 58 today, so it's a big caliber. I'm going to put in 100 grains, this is my hunting, one of my hunting rifles, using a powder measure of double FG. Why a powder measure? A, you know how much powder's going in there, but more importantly, you haven't got your whole flask over the muzzle of the gun. So in case there's flash, it's not going to blow your face off. Okay? Now you can do it this way, or you can use a little plastic, or in this case tin, funnel. Some of them, I have one that's brass that goes all the way down to the bottom, so you're sure you're putting it right down to the bottom into the breech of the gun. Give your gun a tap, right? Then take a greased patch. And here we're going to grease one. This is bear grease and beeswax. And as I've said elsewhere on the web, the hardest part about making this is getting the wax away from the bees, and especially getting the fat away from the bear. Okay? You're going to take this, you're going to center your ball, your patch, on your muzzle. Ball, I cast these myself. We'll do that in another video. I cut my own patches too. You put it in, sprue side up. Sprue is the little section that's where you cut the lead when you're loading your, when you're making your ball, you're casting your ball. Alright, then you're going to use what's called your short starter, long starter, short starter. Start that in. Take a rod, either your field rod or your range rod, push it down. Very important to make sure you tap it all the way down, that there's no airspace between the ball and the powder charge. Otherwise, the ball, the patch ball, will act as a barrel obstruction and you could blow the gun up. Alright, so it must be all the way down. Alright, then you're going to do two things. You're going to find your shooting glasses, and you're going to put them on, in this case sunglasses. You're going to find your hearing protection, put it on, unless you're in the field, the heck with it. Alright? Cap your gun using your capper, Ted Cash in this case. Cock your gun, fire. Shoulder, all the way back. And as you can see, it makes a popping sound. Then, take a cleaning patch. You're going to take some kind of a solvent. I mean, anything works. Some people just use spit. I use this Lehigh Valley lube. Real good for a between shot swab. Run it down. Pull it up. Tell you something else some guys do. They load first, and then they swab the barrel. The reason for that is if you do it that way, you're not pulling any, pushing any fouling down into the breech of your gun. So there you are. I mean, it's a real simple hobby. If you think about it, all that's really happening is you got a pipe with a stock attached to it, right? One side of the pipe is open, the other side of the pipe is sealed. You're pushing explosive powder down there and a ball, and when that powder explodes, the ball's got to come out. So how do you ignite the powder? There's a little hole right here that you need to put a little flash in. Flash goes off, powder ignites, explodes, pushes the ball out. That's how simple it is. And that's the very simple art of loading a traditional muzzleloader.